gun ban at the State Fair of Texas has been upheld by a judge who says, okay, not even licensed carried holders, concealed carry holders, can take guns in. Not even if you're a bodyguard, if you're a licensed bodyguard, and this is what you do for a living is carry a gun. Nope, only government licensed people. So cops, off-duty cops, I think former cops are still exempted there. What do you think? 800-288-9227. I got some hot opinions on hold there, but my next guest is a legal expert, maybe able to answer some of the more nuancy questions, because going back and forth, Javier, one of the questions still up in the air is I had a legal expert on saying that they could have the right to restrict guns because they are a private entity who is leasing government land, so they can still make their own rules. And then I had a caller say it doesn't matter if it's public lands, even if it's being leased by a private entity, they don't have the authority to restrict your gun rights. Where are you on that one, Javier?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting question, and I think that's what kind of demanded the 2-hour hearing they had on it, which is longer than usual on an injunction like that. I think, the State Fair as an entity is a nonprofit, and it has prerogative to kind of define how it's going to run its operation, its event. But there is a wrinkle there where they're leasing public land, and it's not like they're leasing it one time, right? It's like a 25-year deal that they've had with the city. So I think there is an argument on behalf of the state that, look, this is public land, and just because you guys use it occasionally doesn't mean that doesn't apply. But judge in this case did find that because it is a separate entity that it's got the prerogative to decide how it wants to run the event. Honestly, it often depends on who's deciding, right? If you brought this same case in a different part of the state, you might get a different result.
This sounds like some of the legal discussion I hear when people talk about the difference between like an employee and a contractor. So like if you only have one place that you work and it happens to be in that company's office, and you go to the same desk every day and you do the same task every day and you don't do any tasks for any other people, you can't be a contractor. You're an employee. You are a ward. You are a part of that company. And so I think there's a similar argument here where, sure, you're the State Fair of Texas and technically you're a private contractor, you're a private entity, but if you only do one thing and that one thing is on this one government setting and you don't do anything else anywhere else, then you're not really a private entity. You're just a subset. You're a ward of the government.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. I think, if it's exclusive, it's only ever been with this one particular arrangement. How can the State Fair claim that it's not kind of a public operation? Obviously, it's public facing, and it's billed as kind of a state fair, right? It's billed as like something that's very much associated with
in the name. You're right. It's in the name.
So I see the point. I think, again, I think it depends on who's going to decide it. I think you would get a different result, I think, in a Collin County or a not kind of metropolitan court, because state court judges are elected, and so politics does creep its way into their decisions.
Can we get this lady unelected because of this?
Well, I mean, that's the ultimate check, right? That's the decision of the voters on, look, we don't like the way she's ruling anywhere in the state. There's a check on them every election cycle.
Emily Tobolowsky, is she going to be on the ballot in November? Do I need to look into this, Javier?
I'm not sure which cycle she's on. But, I mean, there's a 6-year term, so if it's not immediately, it'd be soon. But that is the check, and that's, I guess, the benefit of having them elected is you're not stuck with them.
Are we stuck with this policy? Is there any way to get this repealed, or is there some sort of anything the people listening can do? So the state can appeal her particular ruling to the next level, which is the Dallas Court of Appeals. And what specific procedural mechanism based on the denial of an injunction, I don't know if it can be immediate. I know that, the fair is opening up next week, so maybe there's some kind of exigent circumstance where they can get it heard soon. But that would be kind of the next step to appeal it. All right. Thank you very much, Javier Pérez. How do they find your work outside of WBAP?
You can find me at javierperezlaw.com right here in Dallas.
Thanks for answering some of these questions, sir. I appreciate your time.
You bet. Thank you.